This video will teach you how to solve a Rubik's Cube with no prior experience. It is likely that within 1 hour, you'll be able to completely solve the cube by yourself. Let's begin. This is a Rubik's Cube. It has 6 colors, and it has 3 types of pieces: the center piece, the edge piece, and the corner piece. Next, I'll be talking about notation. Notation will be useful in this tutorial as well as in the future. It's basically the language that cubers use to communicate to each other what moves are done to the cube. It's really simple. Up, down, front, back, left, and right. The first letter of each word is its notation. For example, U for up, F for front. And when you say U, it means turning that face clockwise 90 degrees when you're facing it. And U prime means turning it anti-clockwise. U2 means turning it twice. There are 4 parts to solve this entire cube, and there are smaller steps within each big part. The goal of the first part is to make a cross, as shown here. Step 1. Make a flower with a yellow center and 4 white edges surrounding it. To do so, bring any white edges in the middle layer to the top layer. If the flower is not yet complete and there are still remaining edges, find a way to bring them to the middle layer without disrupting existing edges. And then bring it to the top. Step 2. Align the side of the white edge with its corresponding centerpiece color and turn it towards the bottom to make a cross. The second part involves finishing the first 2 layers, with the corners first and then the edges. Before we begin, we need to learn a very important series of moves, or an algorithm. And this one is actually really simple. Believe it or not, its official name is the sexy move, and it goes like this. Using the notation we've learned previously, R, U, R prime, U prime. To finish the first layer, you need to solve a total of 4 corner pieces. First, find any corner pieces with white in them and bring them over the correct position. Make sure that you're holding white at the bottom, and then just start spamming sexy move. Make sure the corner is in this position until it goes in properly. If a piece is stuck in the bottom layer, do sexy move once to bring it up, and then put it over the correct position, and continue. To solve the second layer, find an edge piece, match it with the correct centerpiece, and then move it away from the correct position. If the away move was U prime, then do L prime, U, L, rotate the cube so that the white faces you, and then U, R, U prime, R prime to solve that edge. If the away move was a U, then do R, U prime, R prime, rotate the cube so that the white faces you, then do U prime, L prime, U, L. If an edge is flipped, use any one of the algorithms to take it out, then continue. The third part is to form a yellow face by orienting all the pieces correctly. First, we need to learn one algorithm to make the yellow cross on top. It's F, sexy, and F prime. There are 4 stages in total: a dot, a right angle, a line, or the cross already done. You may get any one of these 4 cases. Let's start with a dot. Do the algorithm in any orientation and you'll get a right angle. Make sure the right angle is placed like this, not this, or any other orientation. And do it another time. And with the line, make sure it's horizontal. Do it once more, and it'll become a cross. Now we need to learn an algorithm called soon. It goes like this: R, U, R prime, like the first 3 moves of sexy move. And then instead of coming back, you keep going and then bring it all the way back. So R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, prime, R prime. After doing the cross, there are 7 possible cases for the orientations of the corners, and the first case is soon. So it looks like a little fish with the head here and the tail, and there's also a yellow sticker facing here. So just do the algorithm that you just learned, and the yellow face will be solved. For the other 6 cases, we'll be using the same algorithm to get to the soon case and then solving it from there. So here we have anti-soon, where the position of the sticker is wrong. Just hold it in this orientation and do it once to get to soon. Next up, we have this case. Do the algorithm once to get to soon. For this case, hold it like this, do the algorithm once to get to soon. For this case, hold it like this and do the algorithm twice. Next up, we have this case. Do the algorithm once, do a U move, and then do it again to get to soon. And finally, we have this case. Just do the same thing as the previous case. Now on to the final part, to solve the entire cube. There are 2 smaller steps in here, first solving the corners and then the edges. To solve the corners of the last layer, you have to try and find an eye that looks like this, where there's 2 of the same colors on the sides. A full block with green, green, green also counts. Put it on the right side, face white, and make an L shape with R2 prime and D2. And then do R, U, R prime. Bring the bottom of the L back with D2, and then R, U prime, R. This will solve all the corners. If there wasn't an eye in the first place, do this algorithm in any orientation to get an eye and go from there. We're at the last step. There are 4 possible cases for the edges. We're going to learn one algorithm and converting the other 3 cases to the case that this algorithm is applicable to. The case is when there are 3 incomplete edges and they go in a counterclockwise order. So this wants to go here, this wants to go here, counterclockwise. Hold the complete block on the left side and hold those 2 pieces like this. Do R2 and then U prime, and flick the middle layer with your left index finger, and then U2 prime again, and then flick with your middle finger here, and then U prime again, and then R2 to bring it home, like this. For the other cases, just do this algorithm, and then put the block on the left side and just keep going until you get the solved cube. Great job, you solved the Rubik's Cube. Following this will be an algorithm review, but I suggest trying it out first on your own to see if you remember everything. Sexy move for corners of the first layer. R, U, R prime, U prime. 2 algorithms for inserting the edge piece for the second layer. Away, U prime, and then L prime, U, L, rotate U, R, U prime, R prime. Away, U, R, U prime, R prime, rotate U prime, L prime, U, L. To solve the cross, F, sexy, F prime. Soon, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, prime, R prime. The corner algorithm, also known as AB perm. Hold the block on the right side, face white, and do R2 prime, D2, R, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R. The edge algorithm, or UA perm. R2, U prime, S prime or middle layer, U2 prime, S for middle layer, and then U prime, R2. That's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed the content, consider liking, subscribing, commenting, or sharing this video to support me.